Oh shit, we're live and late.
Yeah, we'll watch people start dropping in.
Yeah.
Hey, that was good though. That's twice in a row. Oh shit, we're late. You know. Or oh shit, we're live.
Oh, they're coming. Surprisingly, it gave me the notification before I even hit the live.
Awesome.
Hey, what's up, Chica?
One of our loyal members.
Hey, so I don't. Before we get too far into this, did y'all hear about the Hunter situation where the IRS whistleblower is? They're investigating and they want. They're seeking protection.
Huh.
No shit.
That was on Fox News just a little while ago before I came out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw that. It said the whistleblower was on CBS, 2 days ago?
Yeah, and now there's 9 Biden family members that receive money.
Ooh.
All the criminal ass fuckers need to be in jail. Every one of them. Probably we brought them on fucking treason charges.
Yeah, that's that right there.
Well, Biden said he's running again. He's fucking 80 years old. That should be a crime already.
All right.
Well,
And everybody that votes for him should be locked up for fucking elderly abuse.
I don't think he can get reelected. I don't think they. I don't want to say nothing against Dean. So shut up.
Well, the thing is, well, yeah, I better not say that either.
There's so much that wants to come out.
I mean, I was going to say a lot of people he went to school with is going to vote for him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
Just saying. But that could be taken either way, screw tube. So,
yeah.
But anyway, they did also say that Trump is the front runner currently. They did a poll, and even with all this shit going on, he's in favor. Did you see that the judge also is not requiring him to be at the trial?
You talking about New York?
Yes.
Why would they on 36 charges of the same thing, which is nothing?
And the jury was wanting to know why didn't he have to be here? The judge is like, that's none of your business.
He doesn't have to be there because he was a former president. Secret Service is probably telling him, fuck you. I mean,
yeah, people forget to understand that once you become president and you're out, you still fall under the same protection.
You sure do.
For life.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're absolutely correct.
But yeah. So let's get into this here. So looting of the Walmarts happening everywhere. A lot of Walmarts are closing down. Those that are not losing are still having a lot of assets lost from thievery.
Oh yeah.
Even when it's not a full-on loot, right? We talked about the main one. You can go on YouTube now and watch self-checkout videos, and you can see people walk out with buggies of shit, and they only scan like 3 items.
Yep.
Or they'll buy 2 of one thing, right? They'll grab 2 of everything and scan 1 of them. So that way, when you stroll up there and they check your receipt, which you legally don't have to show them, by the way, unless they suspect you're stealing. And then they just grab and they see, oh, there's a roll of Bounty paper towels right there, even though you got 4 in there, right?
Yeah.
Stroll right on out. Now, I'm not telling y'all any way to steal now. I don't condone that at all.
So I hate Walmart, but I don't like thieves worse. But Walmart kind of, in a way, back, what was it? Maybe almost 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, when they said, we're not going to prosecute anybody that steals anything less than this. And I can't remember what the dollar amount was, whether it's $100 or $50 or something like that. And it was very public. And then making everybody go through these self-check things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the mass looting stuff, yeah, that's the culture that you can't talk about. That's what drives that right there.
Well, here's what's going to happen. They've already turned Chirac into a little Mogadishu, and they're doing it out on the West Coast as well. What's going to happen is they're empowered in these two places. Any other blue shithole city, it's going to start happening there. And if you live in an urban area and you've got Wally Worlds, you kind of need to have your head on a swivel.
Oh yeah, after this, I don't think there's going to be a time where I'm going to say, hey, if the wife is out or the daughters or anything, hey, can you pick something up at Walmart without me being there with them?
No, I won't. I tell my wife all the time, you don't need to go anywhere by yourself. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying anything about the ability of a woman whatsoever. That's just me being the Papa Bear. I figure, you know what? I can stop wherever the fuck I'm doing and I can go with her just because I've got better situational awareness.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking about Chicago. So they're scheduled to close 20 stores this year. Okay. Mm-hmm. Walmart. 4 of those are in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hell, they just closed one for them. I wouldn't even restock that bitch.
Well, here's a thought. Walmart, let's say you think a Walmart's going to come to your town and all that. You think Walmart's they don't do their homework before they open the store? So, and if you think a Target's going to come in there and go, well, Walmart just closed down here. Let's open a Target there. I don't think so.
Nope. It will be a vacant building, or it will be some bargain ass Chinesian furniture place.
Yep.
It will not be anything worth a shit. I guarantee you.
It will be your new thrift world.
It'll be something that you don't frequent.
Or a shelter, yeah.
Going back to Wally World for a second about them checking, because they're trying to go totally automated, which is hilarious because I've seen what shop stars. I remember when they set fire to the one by us right before Christmas. That was great.
Mm.
That was before your time, sex, man.
Yeah.
I wish you could have been here to enjoy that. But when I have to wait on myself, my rule of thumb is, and I got this from a former Walmart employee who was a good friend of mine. He said, I'm not going to wait on myself unless they're going to discount what I'm fucking buying. And if they're not going to do that, they're going to wait on me. Well, now it's almost impossible because you might have one register open and that's it. The rest of it's do your own work, do our job. So when I go in there now and I wait on myself, I'm not stopping to give him a receipt. I'm going to walk by with it in my hand. And if you ask to see it, I'm going to show it to you as I walk by you.
Right.
That's it. That's what you're getting. And when you go to stop, no, I don't goddamn do anything because I already did your fucking job. I didn't steal nothing. I paid for the shit. I'm going to my vehicle and leaving. Here's the receipt. Here's my buggy. You're welcome to read the motherfuckers I'm walking out across the parking lot, but I'm not waiting for you.
So I have not physically been in a Walmart. Well, see, in the last 10 years, I've been in a Walmart 3 times. I hate Walmart with a passion. I will go anywhere I can. I don't care if I have to pay more for it, just to avoid doing business with Walmart.
Right. Walmart got on my shit list years ago when they started using eminent domain. Excuse me. Used eminent domain to get property. And I kept hearing about the different stunts they were pulling trying to seize property to build Walmarts in a lot of these rural communities. And that kind of gave me a bad taste of them right there. So.
Well, see, y'all know what an Aldi's is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I will not shop there. Simple fact is, you got to rent their buggy. Number one, okay. Then you got to bag your own fucking groceries up. I mean,
Yeah.
what the hell? No, ain't happening.
Well,
Keep your chill.
I don't mind bagging my own groceries if, like, there's a place here called Lidl, which is like Aldi's competition.
European Aldi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Aldi around us has actually gotten high. I don't like Aldi either. I remember the one time I went there, they were throwing our shit down the conveyor belt, and banging it all up. You've got to be like, it's like you got to be a catcher for them. Baseball, grab your shit and put it in a bag before they sling it through a window. I'm with you. I don't need you throwing my shit down there. I'm not going to bag my shit there, but at least at Lidl, they got conveyors that split, and they'll put your stuff down one, then the next customer is going to another. But anyways, it's much more low key, and it's actually a decent place, and the cost isn't bad. But that's my preference.
I still do not see how Dollar Generals and Family Dollars stay in business, because almost every time that I'm forced to go into one, it literally looks like, a war zone. Just, so a firefight just went off in there, but there's people stealing shit all the time. I'm literally just walking out, and the cashier's back behind the desk going, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not risking my life for,
no,
somebody's dog food either, but Jesus, how do they stay in business?
Well, some of them are decent. The problem is demographics.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
I hate to say that, but it's true. Demographics affect everything. And it's not, I used to go to Walmart's in the hood back when I was working. And I go on one, the ones I'm thinking of, and I mean, they were straight up in the hood. And they were clean, the people were friendly, which was kind of ironic, but you come out to the suburbs and, it's everything's shitty, They're not stocked well. People all sound like Chris Rock when they try to talk to you, And I don't know. But if you live somewhere, yeah, she's right. I'm looking at Chica here talking about CVS. She's spot the fuck on there too. They like to hit the CVS's, and they seem to have some prize winners that shop at them as well.
Drugs.
CVS by me, I usually don't go in it without a sidearm. That's fact. Or a Walmart for that matter.
Yeah, the Walmart, definitely.
I don't go into a convenience store without a sidearm, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, there are those of us that carry always, and that's fine. But I mean, sometimes you may say, well, I got to run to the store and do this and do that, and you don't think nothing of it. But I've gotten pretty much now where there's some places where I'm going to make damn sure I'm strapped. Just self-preservation. So, but yeah, the looting and stuff is going to get worse. And see, here's the thing you got to think about. Now, you're seeing this right now, just people acting out because they're fucktards and they've been empowered. Okay? Now, think if we have an economic issue, how bad this shit's going to be. Like, the dollar takes a shit, the banks, whatever's run on the dollar, run on the banks. You think looting's bad now? There will be a fucking Haji Mart you can get anything at. Just saying.
Yeah, anymore, I don't mind going in the Haji Marts because they're going to protect their stuff. They're kind of like rooftop Koreans. If they own it. If they own it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't. I would rather do business with a small business, regardless. If
Yes.
it's not so astronomically expensive that, you know, I just prefer to do that. Because when you go into these big places, you know, you're just supporting a lot of them. They don't support the same values you do. They're bought into this whole woke bullshit. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They want to be peddlers of training fluid.
exactly.
So, hey, speaking of training fluid, I want to kick that horse while I got a chance. Did anybody see the thing for? Oh, come on! What was the beer? It was
England.
no.
England did one, but it was
overseas.
oh overseas.
It wasn't a local. Come on.
Oh.
Where the grandfather was showing the son how.
Oh, friggin' Guinness, and I love Guinness.
There you go.
Yeah.
Apparently, they felt they wanted to have some imported training fluid.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, it's bad enough, you know, Bud Light shit the bed, but now I guess Guinness wanted to get some of that too.
Right. Now, I'm trying to think because, you know, the parent company that owns, you know, Bud Light and stuff like that is Belgium based. And I don't remember how many. They have tons of different, you know, brands. I know they Corona, and which I don't drink. But yeah, there's tons of different brands that they own. But I liked Guinness's response to Bud's, which was, you know, we're America's oldest brewer because we brew good beer, and that was it.
Guinness is owned by Diageo.
Uh,
I just looked it up. And
I had to roll with you because I had no idea.
well, I got two monitors, so it makes it a little easier. And Anheuser-Busch, aka Training Fluid, is owned by Ab InBev. Looks like it was Stella Artois. Or is am I spelling that right?
yeah,
Stella Artois.
yeah, it's nasty.
Maker Interbrew and Brazil's Ambev. So Brazil. Okay. So
That's
What's
interesting.
up, Marines and Army Mom?
So a Brazilian-based company owns Anheuser-Busch.
well, there was a merger. Ambev is part of that merger. I think Anheuser-Busch and InBev is where that comes from.
'Cause, yeah, you have like the offshore stuff, and then, you know, like you have Beck's USA, and then you have Beck's actually in
Right.
Australia.
This is a Belgian conglomerate, InBev, and then the Ambev, I guess, is the Brazilian end of it, and there's a merger, if I'm reading it correctly. So they're still losing money, though. That's good. That's what I want to see. I want to see their shit for 75 cents a can.
Then it'll just have wrappers on it.
Oh, well. They'll sell for more than 75 cents a can around here.
Right. It'll be
Well,
right
I
back.
remember when I used to work again, this is when I was going through my divorce. And I was working in the hood in a convenience store at night. It was bad. I packed a Ruger on my back. And I always remember the shitty beer they had in there. They had the King Cobra
Oh.
and everybody's favorite Schwitz, and there was another one. And they get them some bitches, them cans. I mean, they was like Pistons.
Yeah. Colt 45, man.
Yes, sir. They come in there and get some of that nasty shit, and
St. Ives.
they would have they would get that, and they would go and get a bunch of fucking lottery tickets, and they generally would find a way to have somebody come in and buy a bunch of those 25-cent packs of chips. Using food stamps, they get cash back, turn around and use that to pay for the beer and the scratchers.
Nice.
They had it down to the signs. Now, mind you, these people would sit in there. I know I'm off on a tangent here, but we like tangents. They would sit in there and buy hundreds of dollars worth of fucking scratchers. Now, this was back in the fucking 90s, and I'm sitting there scratching my head. So, where the fuck are you getting money? I mean, these weren't pimptastic folks. These were just regular, for lack of a better term, just poor people, you know. And I actually knew some of them. But they would come in there and they would just go drop bank. And they'd win. And it's like, what do? You just keep buying fucking tickets until you win one? Is that what you do? Break
You
even?
spend 1,000 to make 100.
I don't know, dude. It was the wildest shit I ever seen. And I think that's what turned me off of ever wanting to, play a lottery or whatever, because I'd watch them send their little kids in. And if the kid would want to get food, and they swat the kid and tell him, no, you just get this because they want that cash. And that just turned me off the lottery. You know what I'm saying? Because they're wanting to get that, rather than giving the kid something to eat or whatever, they take that money and go buy fucking scratchers. So that completely turned me off of it. I'm sorry, I went down a dirt road there. I will move right on.
Nah.
Oh, so I'm gonna throw. Did we have parameters tonight?
Nope.
Okay, good. I'm gonna throw this out
parameters?
there. But professor at Duke University calls for 14 trillion with a T in reparations for Black Americans. It's about $350,000 each, and this is Duke. All right, this is not somebody's crappy little college. This is Duke University. $14 trillion. Your union won't be a union anymore. You will have bankrupted your great experiment, and even more so than it already is. It will be owned by Ching Long Peck, and that's it.
So to get a piece of the money, do you have to identify as a black person?
I would say go ahead and do that, because it worked for. You remember at the very beginning of this, back in the Obama administration, when you had that chick that was identifying as black chick.
Isn't that the vice president?
No, she identifies as like a donkey or something. But you had that chick. That was,
Pocahontas?
No. This is about the same time as Pocahontas, but is before. And this is kind of what really kicked off the whole, well, I identify as. Her last name started with a D, I know that, but she had dark, curly hair, and she was a little bit darker than, I'd say, than a Western European. But she was white as white can be, identifying as a black woman, and I believe she was a professor somewhere. But yeah, do that. Just say, I'm melanated, and boom, $350,000.
Oh, well, and Chica can correct me on this, but didn't I just hear that California is going to start something to do with they were going to base it on your income. It wasn't taxes, it was utility bills. I think it was utility bills.
Yeah.
They're going to base it on your income. How the fuck does that work?
Say that again.
Again, she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have sworn I saw something the other day. The left coast, California, is going to start basing utility bills on your income. So if you've got a water bill or electric bill, whatever, from, I think it's Pacific Light and something or another, I forget what they call them, PG&E. Pacific Gas and Electric, I think is what it is. Okay, so if you've got a bill through them, I guess there's now going to be, when you have an account with them, they know what your income is. So they're going to base your utility bill on what you make. So if you make $100,000, you're going to pay one fee. If you make, I guess, nothing and got 40 kids, you're going to get it for free. I don't know how it works. You know, basically what it's going to boil down to is people who actually pay taxes are going to be paying for everybody else.
Damn.
Is that not some insane shit?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it is. I feel bad for people who have some sense that live out there, and I know several. I know people who have fled that state because of it. Moved to Florida, ironically, and I just, any stupid ass, half baked, idiotic idea that's pandering. It's like California is the model test subject. You know what I'm saying? They're going to test it there, and the people just eat it up.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know how you'd save California.
Wall it off and nuke the San Andreas.
I guess, yeah, just like in Superman.
So they're not going to base the utility bill off of what you actually use. It's going to be based off of how much you make.
What your income is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Now, people can do their own research, but that's what I read. Now, don't ask me to cite where I read it because it was one of the 80,000 different things I get throughout the day. But yeah, that's what I heard. And it's not coming from California. It doesn't surprise me in the least. You know, I mean, in California, the same place where all these fucktards were looting the, I don't know if it was it trains, and they were looting like FedEx packages and shit.
Yeah.
There was like a sea of fucking busted open packages.
Yeah, and some of them weren't even busted open. But
I mean, you know.
Yeah, next to the railroad tracks look like a landfill.
Right. Okay. Then I'm thinking the same place. And it's like, I don't understand, you know? If people want to act that way and act like a bunch of fucking barbarians, treat them like barbarians.
You know, I just wonder, well, something I wondered, this was a couple of years ago, how long it was going to take to hit something like Bev Hills, you know? And it took, what, 2 years? For the crime and everything to kind of hit Beverly Hills and the high income areas. And I'm like, huh. And then all of a sudden, you start hearing those people gripe. And now things are kind of, well, wait a minute. We need to take a hard look at this. Imagine that.
Yeah, but they only took a hard look at Beverly Hills in Malibu. They didn't take a hard look anywhere else.
No.
I mean,
those people don't matter.
Right. They see, and you also got to understand, too, when you're dealing with all those people in Beverly Hills and whatnot, they can afford to fucking bring Blackwater in there if they need to, or Academy. They can bring their own private security if they need to. They've got the money. And, you know, considering the fact that all your law enforcement, especially out there, got their hands tied, it's not like they can do their job.
My brother lives in North Dallas, and one of his neighbors, and I think he said he told me this about 2 years ago. He said one of his neighbors just moved from California out there, bought a house. They live in the same subdivision and everything, and their subdivision has a community pool and stuff like that. Well, he sees him at the pool and all that with his kids, and they visit. And he said, you know, I only see you here like every other weekend, you know, and things like that. He goes, oh, yeah. He goes, I work in L.A. And my brother was like, you work in L.A.? And he said, yeah. He said, I work for LAPD. And He goes, "You work for LAPD, but you live in Texas?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "I fly back once a week, do my shift, and then fly back to Texas." And he said,
Wow.
"I'm just treading water till I can get enough, years in and retire." And I think he said he had like 2 or 3 years. And apparently, a lot of the department is doing stuff like that.
Well, they probably can't get no damn law enforcement out there. They have to get them from out of state.
Well, the guy moved his family from LAPD or from Los Angeles to Texas, to Dallas, to get him out of there. He said,
Okay.
you know, he just flies back once a week and then stays with his mom while he's out there, and then works his shift, and then when his shift's over, he flies back, for a couple of days with his wife and kids, and then flies back to, and he's been doing it. I think at this point, 3 years now.
Okay. Well,
So, and the minute he can retire, he's not retiring in California. He's going to retire in Texas.
true enough. Okay. Well, considering California be bankrupt the rate they're going,
Right.
We can switch gears for a minute too. Talk about all these shootings. Of course, the media, and we've all seen this. They're talking about, black student, black teenager gets shot by white man, this, that, and the other. But I've seen a number of people, the victims were white, and it's either skimmed over or ignored. This is just the same thing we've been talking about, where they're trying to set the precedent and keep us divided as much as possible. When you start, we had, what was it, Texas, where the cheerleaders got shot. Then I think it was Tennessee where the little 6-year-old got shot, wasn't it?
I don't remember what state it was. I just heard about that yesterday.
Yeah.
I think. And that one broke my heart. The kid's basketball went in the neighbor's yard or something. Kid goes to get it. The neighbor shoots the kid. Then when the parents come, they shoot the parents.
Yeah.
And that one it broke my heart just hearing about it. And and I didn't even ask like what color they were or anything. And then I found out that the shooter was black and the victims were white. I was like, that's why you're not hearing about it on
North Carolina.
Was it North Carolina? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's my thing. They're quick to say that it's racially motivated if it's the other way around. But none of these deaths or shootings, when it's black on white, none of them are hate crimes. Even that fucktard that drove his car through that Christmas parade up there, was it Minnesota?
Yeah, it was no, it
was
Minnesota. Wisconsin.
I'm sorry.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, that wasn't a hate crime, and he blatantly did it.
Oh, he blatantly said he wanted to kill as many white folks as he could.
There you go. And see, I'm tired of seeing this double standard. I have no faith in our judicial system right now. I have no faith in our federal government. I have no faith in our reporting, our media. Everything is stacked against people who love this country, in my opinion. And it's horrible.
I'm wondering when they're gonna try to make it a hate crime to love this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, but may not be too far off.
They're doing everything they can to make you ashamed of loving your country. They're trying to do everything they can just to divide us, keep us fighting amongst ourselves, and I mean, I don't know. I never thought I'd ever see it the day that race relations are worse now than they were in the '60s. I never thought I'd ever see that day.
Well, part of this is because what you're seeing is our society is trying to erase history, and when you do that, you're destined to make the same mistakes again
Yeah.
because you're trying to hide, previous things that happened because it fits a narrative or something you're trying to accomplish. And because you do that, I mean, that's exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing everything that was done during the '60s completely being undone now. And what's bad is the very people who it benefited are on board with undoing it now, and they don't realize it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Now, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, bud.
no, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I am really proud of. There's a group in a city that's one city over from us, and they're actually standing up to the city council and stuff like that took away a monument out of the town square down there.
Okay.
What was it last year? Took it out in the middle of the night. Boom, it's gone. Stuck it in storage, and now there's I think it's two different organizations are suing the council members and the city, saying you can't really do that. I mean, you can obviously because you did, but they're fighting to get it put back in. And all it was, again, I don't think people understand that not every monument that was put up is supposed to be some monument to slavery, to the lost cause. People don't die by the thousands rushing into the guns of other people for somebody else's slave. It doesn't happen.
Nope.
A lot of it was because they're getting invaded by basically a foreign entity, and you're going to do whatever you can to protect your home, your family,
Well,
your way of life. And these people were veterans of war, but again, all across the country, you can see, they take down a monument, or hell, they don't even take it down. People just come out there and start defacing or tear it down, like it looks like Iraq when we went in there.
mm-hmm.
And some folks are actually starting to stand up and say, you know what? No. You got to take a step back and breathe for a second. And we may lose the fight, but we're certainly going to be heard.
Right.
One book I would highly recommend people reading is a book called Understanding the War Between the States. It was written by, I think, like 11 or 12 different historians. And the Civil War, it wasn't just fought over slavery, and it wasn't just fought over states' rights. I mean, there was like taxes and stuff that I didn't even know about. That book blew my mind. And then when I stopped fact checking them on like the 4th or 5th chapter because everything that they were saying in there checked out. They were 100% accurate. And it's stuff that they don't want you to read in the history book.
Well, you got to remember too that, especially now, with like CRT and these other things, they're trying to rewrite, what history is, and they don't want anybody to be a free thinker. They don't want anybody to know what really happened. They want to shape and craft a history that benefits their ideology. Doesn't matter if it happened or not. That's what they want, and that's what they want taught. And That's why you're seeing the statues getting taken down, the monuments, names of bases getting changed, street names being changed, holidays getting removed or whatever. I mean, just it's a litany of shit they're doing. It's not just one thing. And mark my words, they'll take away all this, but they'll be the first ones to immortalify somebody like George Floyd, make a George Floyd Remembrance Day or some shit. Like he's a saint.
Oh, he is. He's a patron saint of fentanyl.
Exactly. Thank you. That's exactly what he is. And it drives me nuts.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that out loud. But it just really irritates me just because somebody doesn't like a statue or what it represents. No, you need to look at that statue and remember what it represents so you don't make the same mistake twice.
Yep. I completely agree. What I was saying about the California, that is something they are considering. It's not been put into effect yet, Chica, but they're discussing it, which means could happen. My suggestion is get some kind of disposable income they can't track.
Right.
He's telling you to get a job that deals in, it's a high commodity sought after by the rich and poor both, that deals in grams and ounces.
Now I'm telling you, get a job where you're paid in cash.
Yeah, you get paid in cash in that job. Trust me.
Yeah, but I don't need the ATF knocking on anybody's door.
Right.
It wouldn't be the
DEA.
ATF. Yeah, it'd probably be the DEA, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't want that for Chica. I like Chica, so let's keep her in the straight and narrow. We may have to airlift her out of that shithole someday.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
I have a feeling that Bev Hills won't do that. They'll just go off of what they consume, but everyone else will have to pay off income. They'll get some kind of voucher, saying if you live in this zip code, you don't have to pay. It goes off of what you use. Everyone else has to pay off income.
well, you keep waiting, you keep hoping you're gonna wake up one morning and everything's changed. We're no longer in this clown car world.
Right.
Think it makes sense again. But it hasn't happened yet for me. So, but yeah, this just one thing after another. Now let's talk about bed shitter for a minute. I was watching another feed. For those of you who are familiar with Black Scout, and he showed a picture one of his people had sent, and it was two different pictures of the bed shitter of his face. All right, and one, you can see in previous pictures. How some people, their earlobes are like, they don't really have an earlobe; it just kind of goes to their neck. If that makes sense, there's no curve. Well, that's how his are. But then in a recent picture, he now has earlobes. Now,
are you trying to say it's two different people?
I'm trying to say it's suspicious. I would encourage everybody to go check that shit out and see for themselves. But if you look at it, you're going, what the fuck? Because I was trying to think, is there a way to make it look that way? Like using, say, because I've seen another picture where he's scratching the back of his neck.
It could be
And
AI.
it looks like he's got damn gills in the back of his head because he's got these wrinkles under his collar. Again, I'm seeing more and more of this stuff, and it raises suspicion. Like, is this a deep fake? Is this a double? Is this a mask? Is this a bunch of that damn surgical tape where they got something so damn tight, trying to keep it look like he's 8,000 years old or a mummy? You know, I just it's weird. I'm not sitting here trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm just being honest. If you look at the picture, you can see the difference. And it will make you scratch your head and say, okay, how the fuck are they doing that? Because you make those.
I was gonna say maybe what was his buddy that was stealing luggage? Maybe before they fired him, they were doing each other's makeup or something, and he just learned some tips and tricks.
That's a hell of a lot of makeup, brother.
Hey, you know,
I don't know.
strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
I don't know. It just the video or the picture will really make. I mean, if you look at it, you can.
Oh yeah, it does. It looks good.
It looks strange. You know, and that's soft tissue right there. It's not like, you know, it's not like something was surgically added or anything. I mean, it looks like two different sets of fucking ears.
Yeah. It really would not surprise me if they had, you know, RuPaul or Dylan Mulvaney going up into the White House. Yeah, you know what, Mr. President, let's tuck some of that back there. I mean, they're already tucking candy; they can tuck ears.
Well, you know, there's been other videos in the past. And I know y'all probably remember these ones where Bedshitter will be talking and he's real clear and coherent. And then there'll be others where he's wandering around, you know, Camp David like he's looking for an ice cream cone.
He is.
That's straight up dementia.
Well, I get that, but I'm saying it looks like two different people.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
The eyes look different. The speech is different. I mean, it's the same tone, but it's much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more succinct.
Yeah.
He's not rambling and talking about toasters chasing him on his bicycle while he was on his way to a Christmas party. Okay? None of that shit. Everything's succinct and coherent, and then over here he's talking about toasters.
But he is looking for Ben & Jerry's and Baskin Robbins ice cream, you know, and he's got a whole bunch of it downstairs at the White House and upstairs. No joke.
Yeah, I have seen that picture you're talking about, and that one is very polished, very, you know, there's no lines. Yeah, and then there's the other one where, yeah, it kind of looks like you just stumbled out of the old folks' home. Yeah.
I mean, and if y'all noticed that when you see him now and he's trying to give him a mullet, like, you know, he's trying to be cool or something. Has anybody noticed that?
Party in the back. And
it's like, dude, what happened? Jill didn't take you to the barber this week? And that's even something else. Watch the hair. Because the times you see him, everything's clean cut. And the other times, he looks like he's trying to be Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon.
Right.
So just watch it. I mean, again, I'm not saying that it's a double or anything else, but I'm saying pay attention to that shit because it's blatantly obvious there's something going on. Maybe they have a double that steps in and then, you know, makeup, you know, send him through the Hollywood makeup. You know, they got some FX folks on staff there when he's getting shock treatments or some shit. I don't know.
Well, you know, regardless of his, you know, Herr Biden's political views, I'm surprised that he has made it this far. Just physically.
there's no telling what kind of experimental drugs they're putting in that fucker.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
he's probably getting cocktails that fucking FDA don't dream about.
Right.
So, who knows? Who knows? But just something to watch. I mean, God knows the news cycle just keeps giving us good shit.
Oh yeah.
On another note, for those of you who are familiar with the top city in Georgia, in Atlanta, that's where the Antifa cucks and the Hot Pocket Brigade have been hanging out and clashing with State Patrol and State Police and the Atlanta Police. I don't know if the kids got involved. That's all the local municipalities right there with them. Well, last month, wherever it was, they had a clash with the state troopers, and one of them thought it'd be cool to shoot at one of them. Well, he got Rittenhoused.
Yep. He's a bullet magnet.
And so now his family is all saying, they killed my baby, and they've released some bullshit about there was no GSW on this little fucker. And they're making out like he's some kind of saint. Okay, if he was an upstanding individual, why the fuck was he camped out in the woods with this bunch of damn, for lack of a better term, tree hippies / basement dwellers doing this dumb shit? I don't get it. And so what's going to happen is, because that's another blue shithole city, I'll bet money there's going to be a bunch of acting out, a bunch of shit tore up, a bunch of shit said. That family's going to get paid through the fucking nose. And they'll bow down to this, and all that's going to do is empower these fucktards to do more stupid shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're giving the keys of the fucking city to these clowns.
Right.
Think back to that couple in St. Louis. Remember them? The lawyer and his wife or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Fucking yeah. She had a 380. All them thugs were coming down through there. All the Antifa people. They didn't come from that damn property. But they tried everything they could to put that sumbitch in jail.
Yep.
Because he was defending his home.
Didn't he run for office?
I don't know. He might have.
Because I think he declared to run for U.S. representative or something. And I never heard if he got elected or if he actually filed to run, but I do know he announced that he was going to run. I do remember that.
And I'm fairly certain that they were not Republicans. they just didn't want to have their house burnt down.
McCluskey, that was his name. And no, he actually, I think he was a Republican.
You think?
I think he was.
He may have been. I know that when he talked, when they interviewed him those few times, he actually sounded like he was relatively intelligent.
He was a lawyer.
Yeah. But I mean, okay, well, lawyers can sound intelligent, but some of them just seem like shitbags. He seemed like he was well educated and making a good point. He had a good argument.
Their name was McCluskey, if I remember right.
I think you're right. And they did everything they could to throw the book at him. Just and all that happened around the same time, Kyle Rittenhouse. You had a bunch of things that happened in a short span of time. And all this, if you think about it, all happened around the last year that Trump was in office, going into bedshitters regime.
It was an election year, and we're coming up in an election year, and everybody loses their damn mind. And
well, I think what we're going to see, I think if there's a way the Fed can do it, they're going to try and put a Band-Aid on the economy. under the guise of see what we did, see what we averted, see what we did for you, trying to garner votes. And if they get reelected, well, even if they don't get reelected, the economy is going to go straight to shit afterwards because they're not going to be able to. You can't put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Okay? You got to use quick clot. Just saying. And these asshats, they're all about kicking it down the road and manipulating the people to get them to stay in office. And I truly believe that's what they're going to try and do. So
I think we're going to see another 2020 as far as, you know, the riots and all that kind of stuff.
oh yeah, it's coming. It's ramping up, and it'll be a different organization. It's no longer quote unquote Antifa and BLM. Now it's the Tranny Fluid Brigade, and whatever attaches to that. That's their new vehicle. So be prepared for that shit. You know, it's going to happen. Stupid shit's going to take place, and it's going to be taking place everywhere as it ramps up closer to the election, especially if the current regime or the DNC feel that Trump really has a chance to kick him in the teeth.
Oh yeah,
they're going to call Soros up and say, "Look, we need you to hook us up, brother." And there'll be ads in every fucking Craigslist cross country.
I don't think they're going to have to make that call. I think Soros is already, you know, hey, you know, last time this didn't work, so let's try this. And I think that's just my opinion.
Well, the thing I've always, you know, since we're talking about that Nazi shitbag, I don't understand why people don't protest his ass.
because he's got cash in hand.
And his check's clear.
Well, I understand that, but I'm saying, why don't a bunch of patriots or a bunch of people, like-minded people, show up on his doorstep raising it?
No, well,
Where's his door?
He's got multiple doors. But I'm saying, what's good for the goose, good for the gander. I mean, these fucktards can show up on the Supreme Court justice's doorsteps. So why the fuck can't we show up at his?
right.
I mean, like I said, where does the guy actually live?
I don't know. At one point, I knew where one of the places was. I don't remember now. That look, he has several places around the world, but he has. I'm pretty sure he has one somewhere in upstate New York. It seems like he's got something else here, but I mean, I don't understand. It's not like you got to go to some foreign land to seek out this person's home when they've got something right here. Why are people not there raising hell about what he's doing? I'm not trying to encourage anybody to go cause any trouble. I'm just posing a question. You know?
Well, I guess in answer to your question, therein lies the whole what, you know, is the us versus them culture. Because, you know, if it were a lefty, it would be nothing to, you know, grab the gang, let's get some Molotov cocktails and let's go burn some stuff. And there's also the double standard. Generally speaking, the Patriots aren't going to do anything until you directly attack them. You know, and if they did, it would be just like January 6th all over again. You know, anybody there present and breathing in the vicinity is going to go get, you know, detained for an indefinite amount of time and or thrown in prison.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a valid point. There's a lot of armchair and, you know, Monday night quarterbacking or backseat quarterbacking, whatever you want to call it, that goes on in the Patriot end of things. And I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've been guilty of it. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, throw stones because I'll own it. But there's going to come a time and place where it's kind of time to shit or get off the pot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just, but you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
There's right now, because it hasn't reached to the point where, yeah, people are pissed off about stuff, but they're not maybe either directly affected, or it hasn't hit the pocketbook, or it hasn't affected a family member, in a significant way.
Right.
that that the other has to happen finally.
Well, I think you got a lot of people too still have that mindset well, until it comes to my door.
Yeah.
And
Speaking of coming to your door, do y'all? Let me take you 30 years ago in history. Something that happened. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember the exact date. 30 years ago, what happened?
enlighten me.
The Waco siege ended with the Branch Davidians' house being burned to the ground.
Yep. Thanks to the ATF.
Actually, it was the FBI that burned it, but yeah, the ATF was the one that, could have snatched David Koresh when he was out jogging. But instead, they wanted the news media and, all that there. And
Well, yeah,
on a no knock.
I can remember watching that on TV, and then afterward, weeks after, everybody started calling, and it might have been before that too, but yet all the major news networks were just, fawning over, what was her name? The Attorney General.
Janet Reno.
Yeah, and that's when I first heard General Reno. Whenever anybody referred to the Attorney General somewhere, General Reno. Yep.
Well, Vanguard, are we ready to wrap it up, brother?
That's on y'all, brother.
You've been awfully quiet. I'm just making sure you didn't fall asleep on me.
No, I'm soaking it up.
All right.
I was thinking how great a cup of coffee would be right now.
Yes, coffee is the nectar of the gods. Absolutely.
Death wish. Only way to go.
Bruh, I can't have a stroke.
It's only 470 milligrams of caffeine.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm not dead, I will be.
It's like drinking a 12-pack of Coke.
I have to wheel you out in the front yard just so you can yell at the neighbors then. Get off my fucking yard.
Get off my
ice cream. Air Force One.
Oh, shit.
I fall running upstairs.
All right.
Wow. Moose, you want to leave him with something, brother?
Come back to me.
All right.
All right, Sax man. You got it, brother.
All right. So here we go. I would leave everybody with this. Like T always says, be really situational aware right now. There's stuff brewing. There's a definite change in the air, so to speak. Be on the lookout for your family members, especially when you're out and about, and don't hide your candy. That's what I got.
T.
Oh, Lord. Well, he stole my thunder about the situation with Aware, but that's okay.
Sorry, bud.
Oh, you're good. You're good. What I'm going to say is try not to be consumed by all this, but at the same time, pay attention to what's going on. I mean, you got to find that balance, or it will consume you. Appreciate the time you got with your loved ones, friends, your family. Take a moment out to do something and kind of unplug from all this shit that is the world we live in. It will do you some good. That being said, if you are out, like I've said before, if you got a spouse or a loved one, I said, go with them. Don't go alone to anywhere. If you're not going down to the little neighborhood market or something, and you live in an urban area, strengthen numbers. Because if something pops off, whether it's one of these flash loot mobs or whatever, it's going to be a lot easier for two of you to work together to get the hell out than one of you start praying.
Yep.
So just think about that. That's all I got, brother.
Hell yeah. Well, thank everybody for coming by. I enjoyed the show. Listened to a lot of information floating around as always. Y'all hit us up with some topics y'all want to talk about. We may get back to, with all the shit happening, looting, unsafe situations. We may get back to doing some observant / training or ideas. Talk about some things. I've actually got. I want to talk about lower price weapons with a high standard. Some people just, you can't. Some people just can't go out and buy all these fancy stuff. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't run around with a $5,000 Desert Eagle. You know what I'm saying? So that wouldn't be practical. But anyway, so we'd like to get into that. I'd like to get into some more survival stuff, bug out gear, things like that. Seemed we had a pretty good viewing on when we did those. So I want to get back to that because I think that's going to be important because we talked about the economic failure a little bit, and if we go into that situation, you're going to need it. You're going to need to know some of this stuff. But anyway, Moose, Saxman, T, thank y'all for coming by as always. Everybody out in the chat, if you want to come on, let me know. It's not a problem. I don't mind. We can hold, I think, like 16 people on here. If y'all want to jump on, talk about anything. We don't care. So, anywho, y'all have a good night. Thank y'all. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Peace out, everybody.
Not everybody.
Not everyone.
Night. Peace.